Lalita Madhava, Act 3, Madden Radha. Scene 2. Consoled by two gopi friends, Radha enters. Radha speaks. O beautiful face friend, I did not fully drink the nectar of Lord Krishna's joking words with my ears. I did not fearlessly gaze without restriction on his lotus face. I did not very firmly embrace his chest to my heart's content. Moment after moment my mind remembers all this as it trembles in pain. Vishaka says, Oh, why, even though you know of Krishna's message promising his return, do you still torture your friends by plunging yourself into this blazing fire of grief? Radha in Sanskrit replies, Oh my friend, the gopis who all have beautiful curved eyebrows may be convinced that Krishna's heart is flooded with waves of compassion for this downtrodden person. Still, my cruel enemy, the pain of being separated from Krishna, is intent on cutting my heart to pieces. That enemy will not for a moment allow me to celebrate a festival of auspicious happiness. In agony she says, The blazing fire of separation from Lord Krishna, the king of Gokul, has broken my heart. That fire is more painful than the Putapaka fire, more troubling than a strong dose of poison, more intolerable than Indra's thunderbolt, more sharp than a spear plunged into the heart, and more horrifying than the last stage of cholera. She then cries without any inhibition. A voice from behind the scenes says, Krishna is many millions of times more dear to Radha than her own life. Now that he has gone far away, her heart has become wounded by many sharp javelins of unbearable grief. She has become emaciated. She may roll about on the ground, and she may scream in pain. O noble, pious Mukura, please don't stop her. Please don't try to stop her. Lalita glancing at the area behind the scenes. Vrinda, well done, well done. You stopped Mukura, who was very eager to intervene. Radha, again seeing a Chakravaki bird, makes the following request. O Chakravaki bird, because you have come here from the east, you must have seen Krishna. Please tell me the news of his activities. Has someone acted to relieve the Lord's fatigue traveling on the highway in the chariot? Has someone decorated him with leaves, fresh sprouts, and other forest ornaments? Lalita says, Dear friend, look at the king of the crows sitting on top of this kadamba tree. He seems to be a relative of us gopis, suffering in separation from our beloved. He seems to be yearning to go to Mathura city. Radha, praising the crows, says, O brother, O crown of all youths, after you leave Brajabhumi, please go to Vrindavan's King Krishna, offer respectful obeisances to him, and speak to him the following message on my behalf. O moon of all amorous heroes, the flames of separation from you are now beginning to burn the animal of my life breath in the house of my body. Please unbolt the firm lock of hope that keeps that animal in the burning building. Seeing a female parrot on the left, she says, O parrot friend, I did not know you were a messenger from Krishna. Tell me the news. Has Krishna crushed the sharp thorns of his enemies? Is he now surrounded by his friends? Does he call for a chariot to come here? Is he now eager to travel west to the land of Braja? Frightened and crying, she says, What will my superiors say now? Now where will I be able to hear the nectar sound of Krishna's flute? I do not hear any words that will drive away my grief. I cannot be peaceful for even a moment. Alas, where is the Lord of my life now? O miserable life, please run out of my throat at once. No longer can I see Krishna. Vishaka says aside to Lalita, Lalita, quickly do something to stop, even for a moment, the waves of suffering that are drowning our dear friend Radha. Lalita says to Radha as she approaches and says in Sanskrit, O lotus-eyed one, we think that clever, playful Krishna is simply playing a joke on us, and these events, beginning with Akrura's arrival, are all his joke, for he is not willing to leave Vrindavan at any time. O friend, if you simply search for him in the forest, you will quickly find him there. Vishaka says, Well done, Lalita. Well done. You are very intelligent. Radha says, My friends, this is not impossible. Let us search for him. After walking some distance, she sees some does. With tears in her eyes, she calls to them in a loud voice. Hello, hello, O does, the grass is falling half-eaten from your mouths. Is this because charming Krishna has stolen your hearts? Is it because you have met the wandering guest of Lord Krishna's sidelong glance? Or because you have heard the sweet music of his flute? Going to another place, she laughs loudly. O peahens, please give up all duplicity and quickly tell me, where is peacock feather-crowned Krishna hiding in this forest? Where is Krishna whose flute music pleases you millions of times more than the thunder of many new rain clouds? Note, peacocks and peahens are pleased by the monsoon rains. The sound of thunder is therefore a sound especially welcome to them. Vishaka, eagerly craning her neck, says, I can see a Gunja necklace in the grove by Radha Kund. Radha, with great awe, picks up the Gunja necklace, smells it, and trembles. And she says, reflecting the splendor of the King of Jewels, you were once on the chest of Krishna, the enemy of the demons. O Gunja necklace friend, why do you, overwhelmed, now roll about on the ground of this forest path? Lalita says, how is it that by wandering in search of Krishna, we have come near Sakishtali, that is Chandravali's home? Radha says, our dear friend Chandravali, O Vishaka, I have so yearned to see Chandravali, who I so rarely see, and who is very dear to Krishna, the prince of the gopis. Vishaka says, confined to the house by her grandmother Karala, she has been wasting away in grief. Radha says, I shall go now and pray to Govardhan Hill. She takes a few steps, and with jealous rivalry says, O Vishaka, why do you cheat me in this way? Chandravali is here. She approaches and says with tears and in a choked voice, O friend, have you seen your friend, the independent-minded Prince of Braj? Has he come here with glistening, smiling lips, a flute in his hand, a peacock in his hair, and timid eyes glancing at these groves of flowering vines filled with buzzing bees, blinded with joy? Hearing the mountain cave echo her words, she becomes uneasy and says, why does Govardhan Hill cry the same question back at me? Bewildered, she goes close to the cave and says, O beautiful Chandravali, suffering Radha can see how your body has become auspicious from Krishna's many tight embraces. Please embrace me with your arms fragrant from the touch of Krishna's flower earrings. She tries to embrace her. Lalita says, this is you yourself reflected in this crystal stone. It is not Chandravali. Radha, examining it closely, says, you aren't lying. She looks ahead and happily laughs. Lalita, I am fortunate. Now I shall not give up my body. Look, look, she says, pointing with a finger. And she says, there in the far distance is Krishna, decorated with a peacock feather crown and embraced by the fair-limbed gopis. Radha becomes jealous. She carefully looks again and then becomes unhappy. No, I think it is not Krishna. It is only a rain cloud, lightning, and rainbow resting on Govardhan Hill. She then faints. Both gopis say, don't be sad, don't be sad. Radha becomes revived and she says with great respect, O Govardhan Hill, O King of the Mountains, you are the best of the affectionate servants of Lord Krishna. I think that Lord Krishna always remains on your lap. With plaintive words she says, please be kind. Please open the entrance of one of your caves and let me glimpse Krishna within. Please do this and stop the unbearable, endless waves of my suffering. Looking again, she says, why is Govardhan Hill silent? He simply sheds streams of tears in the form of these murmuring mountain brooks. She folds her hands in a prayerful position and says, O Govardhan, you shine very splendidly in this land of Gokula, your many lofty peaks thrusting into the sky. Please look in all directions and tell me where Krishna, the jewel of the cowherd boys, now enjoys pastimes. Walking a little ahead, she says, O restless-eyed friend, is this not the same kadamba tree under which Krishna placed a peacock feather crown in my hair? Looking south, she begins to cry. Here is the same cave entrance on Govardhan Hill where Krishna made a very artistic, colorful bed of jasmine flowers. When I see this place, it reminds me of all the pastimes we enjoyed together here. Oh, friend, fie on the useless breaths that continue to move in my throat. Distressed, she says, I saw all the forest. I looked in all of the Vrindavan forests. I carefully searched dense Bandhiravana forest. I looked in every part of Govardhan Hill. O Lalita, alas, I have not found even the faintest scent of your friend Krishna anywhere. Lalita said, How many times have you searched for Krishna in the forest groves and not found him? Don't be depressed. Radha, beginning to run, says in Sanskrit, Well said, Lalita, well said, well said. Look, there in the distance are Krishna and Akrura riding on a chariot. I will grab Krishna by the neck and drag him down. Approaching nearer, she becomes unhappy and says, This is not a chariot, but a hill covered with golden flowers. This is not the gopis' lover Krishna, but a dark tamal tree. This is not the king's messenger Akrura, but a powerful tiger. Oh friend, why has the unfriendly creator Brahma made everything wrong? And then she faints. Vishaka, alarmed, says, Lalita, fan Radha with the edge of your garment while I go to get lotus petals. And then she runs off. A voice from behind the scenes says, Seeing Radha's intense suffering and separation from Krishna, the Manasi Ganga has completely dried up, and Govardhan Hill, which was so tall that the sun god's horses would eat the durva grass at its summit, has shrunk to the height of 100 arms. Radha, regaining consciousness, says, in the anger of love, O Radha, give up the wickedness of this false pride. Lalita sighs and lowers her head. Radha says, O Radha, the sound of Krishna's footsteps has come to my ear. Krishna is now entering this grove of transcendental pastimes. Falling down at the edge of Lalita's feet, she says, Krishna has come to this forest grove bordered by jasmine flowers. The smiling vines and the buzzing of these bees make you run there. Mad woman, get up. Don't hit that friend that touches your feet. Because of your foolishness, we are losing a rare and precious opportunity. Lalita says, Alas, terrible fate has killed me. She cries and wails. Vishaka, hastily arriving, says, Lalita, what is this? Please calm down. Radha, surprised, says, Friend, are you actually Lalita? Lalita, with a choked voice, says, What? Radha says, she speaks the truth. I am Radha. She looks around and says, I have come here to pick forest flowers for a garland. I will pick jasmine flowers to make earrings for Krishna. She anxiously enters the flower garden and says, Why are the jasmine buds falling? Why are the kadamba blossoms breaking into pieces? Why are the jati buds black? What has happened to Krishna's Vrindavan forest? Both Lalita and Vishaka say, The forest must have been licked by the flames of a great fire. Radha says, O Lalita, I don't know why a great forest fire playfully licks my heart. Let's find your friend whose glance extinguishes great fires. Lalita says, Come, dear friend, come. Radha, jubilant, says, I can see the Surbi cows. Krishna can't be far away. And then she begins to run. She says, Why did the cows, their eyes flooded with tears, refuse to eat the grass before them? Why, overwhelmed with emotion, do they lick the calves near their mouths? Why do they break the directions with their lament? Alas, alas, Krishna's Surbi cows on this path are on the verge of death. A voice from behind the scenes says, May a black snake angrily bite the chest of King Kamsa, who took away the moon of Krishna, which gives life to the pond of Braj village. Alas, the sapari fish of the gopis are rolling on the dry ground in agony. The waves of their life breath are stopping. What will give them shelter now? Trembling with agitation, Radha faints. Lalita says, There, there. Radha, opening her eyes and looking to the sky, says, O sun god, Radha offers her respectful obeisances unto you. Please fulfill her desire. Vishaka with awe says, The 1,000-rayed sun god gives a benediction. Radha, not hearing Vishaka's words, says, Alas, alas, its scattered sweet Krishna footprints enchanting the world's eyes and making them wretched. The Jamuna's shore now walks on the pathway of my eyes and makes my senses burn with pain. Lalita says, Ah, on this riverbank let us worship the sun god and pray to him for the fulfillment of our desire. Radha, rolling about on the riverbank, says, O lotus-eyed one, on this Yamuna shore, where again and again you splashed us with waves of pleasure deep with love, why do you not now embrace us who are tormented with pain? Lalita, looking at the Yamuna, says, O sister, O crown of the sun god's dynasty, I have come here desiring to hear from you news of Krishna, the killer of the Madhu demon. Radha in Sanskrit says, Friend, your ever-new shores are filled with forest groves that rival jewel palaces that were once the home of Krishna's pastimes. Then she faints. Vishaka says, Lalita, Krishna once wore this garland. Place it on Radha's nose. They both do that. Radha, after a long time, regains consciousness and says in Sanskrit, Lalita, listen, I saw a frightening dream. It was so vivid I thought I was awake. In this dream, a wicked messenger of King Kamsa came to Vrindavan, and with a chariot, Krishna. She leaves the sentence unfinished. I pray that there will be peace and prosperity in Braj. Now, in order to become free from the ill effects of this bad dream, I will bathe in Yamuna and then go to see Krishna. Vishaka says, Let us go to Kaila Tirtha, where Krishna eternally enjoys pastimes. They all walk there. Vrinda and Mukura enter at this time. Mukura says, My child, what is Radha doing? Vrinda says, O noble lady, I will see. She is bathing in the waters of the Kaila Tirtha with Vishaka. Radha, gazing at the beauty of the tall wave, says, O Vishaka, well done, well done. Now I will enter the waters of the Kaila Tirtha. Look, there is your friend Krishna. He is hiding among the blue lotus flowers. He is playfully waving his arms. Vishaka says, Let us enter the water. They both exit. Lalita, looking on, becomes grief-stricken and says, Alas, alas, now I am dead. I am dead. My dear friend Radha has drowned in the deep river waters with Vishaka. She will never again rise from those waters. These two have drowned, and now I will become the third. She then enters the water. Mukura in tears says, Fate, fate, why have you done this? Vrinda, crying, says, Alas, what will happen to her now? Noble lady, Lalita is grief-stricken. Now she also wants to drown in the water. Stop her at once. And they both do that. Lalita says, Alas, alas, here is a great obstacle. By some trick I will escape from this place, and because of separation from my dear friends, I will jump from the top of Govardhan Hill, and on the rocks at the mountain base I will crush this hard as stone body that would not break from not being able to see its dear friend. Hiding her grief, she openly says, Noble lady, let go of me. I must go and tell this strange news to noble Purnamasi and her friends. She then exits. A voice from the sky says, What great person in this world is able to describe the splendid flood of this beautiful eye-browed gopi's glory? As splendid as new lightning, she and her friend have now entered the sun planet, which even the great sages cannot attain. Vrinda says, Noble lady, listen. The Siddha demigods in the clouds are glorifying Radha's attainment of perfection. Mukura, rolling about on the ground, says, Alas, alas, O granddaughter Radha, where have you gone? Vrinda, anguish, says, As I think of Radha's death, I suffer as if burning in the flames of a putaka fire. O lotus-eyed Radha, when he hears of your sudden, untimely death, what will happen to lotus-eyed Krishna? A voice from the sky says, Grief-stricken Lalita, whose teeth are as beautiful as pomegranate seeds, who is a jewelry chest of love for Krishna, and who is the life and soul of Radha, has now jumped from the top of Govardhan Hill. Mukura says, Lalita, why have you left us? She becomes very agitated and says, Vrinda, now I will enter the Yamuna and cool this body burning in the flames of grief. She begins to enter the water. A voice from the sky says, Elderly one, don't do it. It is not right. Vrinda says, O noble lady, this order descending from the realm of the sun is not to be disobeyed. Mukura says, I will tell all this to noble Purnamasi. A deep sound again rumbles in the sky. Mukura says, Child, I could not clearly hear it. What did the demigods say? Vrinda says, Without duplicity, please place in your ears these splendid words of the sun god, who removes the fatigue of the lotus flowers and witnesses the Chakravarti birds meeting with their lovers. The sun god said, O Mukura, don't commit this restless act of drowning yourself in the water of the Jamuna. In the future you will enjoy a festival of the nectar of transcendental bliss. They both exit. Everyone exits. Thus ends Act 3.
Dio